Alright guys, today is NTI day 23 and we're going to be still working in some geometry, and today we're going to talk about how to represent three-dimensional shapes with a net. So the first thing that we need to talk about is what is a net. And a net is what a 3D shape would look like if you laid it out with all its connected faces, if you just laid it out flat. And then you could take that net, you could take that flat image and fold it up to remake the shape. So the two main types of three-dimensional shapes that we're going to talk about today are pyramids and prisms. And you can tell a shape is a pyramid if it has triangular sides, and pyramids are named by their bases. A prism, on the other hand, has rectangular sides, and it's named by its two matching ends. Okay, so let's just go ahead and take a look at some examples of 3D shapes. So if you look, this is a prism. It's got rectangular sides, and it's named a rectangular prism because its two ends are rectangles. Okay. We also have spheres, and the sphere is just like a round three-dimensional shape, you know, like a ball or like a globe. A cube is a special type of 3D shape because all of the faces are squares. A cone has one circular base, and an apex is what this is called at the top. That point at the top is called an apex. This is a pyramid, and specifically we would call this one a square pyramid because it has a square base. But we know it's a pyramid because if you look, it has these triangular sides. Okay. All right, this is a triangular prism, and this one is tricky for everybody because it's got triangles and it has rectangles. If you look, it's going to be a prism because it has rectangular sides, and it's going to be a triangular prism because its two bases are triangles. Okay, and then the last one we're going to discuss is a cylinder, and cylinders just have two round tops and bottoms, okay, like a Coke can or like a soup can, something like that. Okay, all right, so if we're going to be representing these shapes with nets, first we need to talk about how to draw them. Okay, prisms are easiest if you draw the rectangular sides first and then you attach the bases. So if we look here, okay, first off, on your paper, as I'm drawing these nets, why don't you go ahead and practice drawing them along with me. This is a rectangular prism, and it kind of looks like a cereal box, like if we stood it up straight. So in my mind, that's like visually what I'm picturing is a cereal box. It's got a front and a back cover. It's got those little skinny sides where they have the nutrition facts and the ingredients, and then it has a top and a bottom. So when we draw our net, we got to make sure that we include all of those sides. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to draw for my net is that front cover, and we know that the cereal box on a rectangular prism, it's got a big front cover. Then we're going to draw our little skinny side where we would put those ingredients or the nutrition facts. Then we have the back cover, okay, and then we have another little skinny side where we would have our ingredients or whatever. Now, we can't forget, we've got a top and we have a bottom, and we got to attach those to our biggest side. Okay, and there is our net of a rectangular prism. Okay, if we folded it all back up, we'd have our rectangular prism three-dimensional shape. All right, the next one we have there, we know it's still a prism because it has rectangular sides. Okay, here's our rectangular sides. Prisms are named by their bases, so we know that this one is a triangular prism. Okay, so a triangular prism has three sides, and they're all rectangles. Well, guys, I'm going to erase that real quick because I'm not going to have room to put my top and bottom. But anyways, we draw our three rectangular sides first. And then we're going to attach our triangular bases. So that it kind of looks like a tent. So if we laid our tent out flat, we would have our three rectangular sides and then our two rectangular bases. That is our triangular prism. Now, the next one we're going to take a look at, it obviously has rectangular sides, so we know that it is some sort of prism, and we know prisms are named by their bases, so we can look and we can see that the bases are hexagons. So this is called a hexagonal prism. And we're going to first draw our 6 rectangular sides. And we know it has 6 because a hexagon has 6 sides. So we draw our hexagon or our rectangular sides. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to draw our 2 hexagonal ends. So here's our first one. And then here is our second one. Okay. Now, if we folded it all up, we would have our 3D shape, our hexagonal prism. Okay. So that's how we draw our prisms. You draw the sides, the rectangular sides first, and then you just attach the bases. Pyramids are a little bit different. You're actually going to start with the base and then attach the triangular sides. Okay. So if we look at our first shape here, pyramids, we see that all of these are pyramids because they have triangular sides. We name our pyramids based on what their base looks like. And so this one, its base is a triangle. So it's a triangular pyramid. So we're going to draw our base first, and it's a triangle. And then we're going to attach our triangular sides. So here's a triangular side, here's a triangular side, another triangular side. Now, what we would do is we would gather up all of those and bring them to that top point that I said was called the apex, and it would make our triangular pyramid in a 3D shape. Okay. Our next one here, again, still a pyramid because it's got those triangular sides, but if we look at our base on this one is a rectangle. So it's a rectangular pyramid. So we're going to start by drawing that rectangular base, and then we're going to attach our triangular sides. If we folded it all up, it would make our 3-dimensional shape a triangular or rectangular pyramid. All right, and then the last one here, still a pyramid because it's got those triangular sides, but if you look, our base has 6 sides, so it's a hexagonal pyramid. So we're going to draw our hexagon base first. So our hexagon has 6 sides. And then we're going to attach our 6 triangular sides. And I love making this one because it kind of looks like a star. Looks kind of cool. Looks like a sun, maybe. So we have our hexagonal base, and then we have our 6 triangular sides, and that makes our hexagonal pyramid. Okay. Then the last one we're going to talk about is our cube. And cubes are, the nets are easy to draw because, like we said, they're all squares. Now, since they're all squares, there are 4 square sides and then a square top and a square bottom. There are lots and lots and lots and lots of different nets for a cube. All you have to do is to draw the 4 square sides. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then attach your square top and your square bottom. And there's lots of different ways that you can do that. So there's lots of different nets for a cube. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at your work for today. And this is what you need to answer on your paper. The first one we have here, we have to just look at the net and we have to identify what 3D shape it is. So if we look, the first thing we need to look for every single one is what do the sides look like? So if we look at this shape for number 1, our sides are triangles. So we know it's some sort of pyramid. So I can go ahead and eliminate rectangular prism, triangular prism, and just look at these 2 answer choices down here at the bottom. Our pyramids are named based on their base. And this one has a rectangle for the base, so it's a rectangular pyramid. Okay, on to number 2. Number 2, we can see that all of the sides are rectangles so that we know it's some sort of prism. So I can eliminate cone, I can eliminate cylinder, I can actually eliminate square pyramid. Okay, now I know it's a rectangular prism because it's got a two rectangular bases that go with it. Okay, number 3. Number 3, I see these triangular sides here. So I know it's some type of pyramid. I can eliminate triangular prism. I can eliminate rectangular prism. Now I just have to look at the base to figure out what type of pyramid it is. If I look at the base forms a triangle. So I know that this pyramid is a triangular pyramid. Number 4. Number 4, if we look, every single shape on that net, sides and top and bottom, is a square. And we know that the only three-dimensional shape that has all squares is a cube. Okay. Number 5. Now, number 5 looks a little bit different than what we've been dealing with so far because it has a circular top and a circular bottom. If you think back to when we looked at the examples of all of the three-dimensional shapes, the only 3D shape that had a square top and a square bottom was a cylinder. Okay. Number 6, again, this is a little bit tricky because it's got rectangles and it has triangles, but if we look closely, it's got rectangular sides. So I know it's some sort of prism. It's not a cone, it's not a cylinder. It is some type of prism. Prisms are named by their ends, okay? So if we look, our ends here are triangles. So it is a triangular prism, okay? So there is 1 through 6. Number 7 asks for you to draw a net of your choosing. So you pick any 3D shape that you want and draw its net on your paper. Okay. Now remember, to get full credit for this assignment, you need to take a good, clear picture of your work and upload it to the Google form. All right. All right, guys, if you need any help, just send us an email.